Make yourself comfortable. Going to be okay in the sun, Sarah? Okay. So after the meal, there can be a bit of sluggishness sometimes. Gives us an opportunity to just be present with that, if that's there, and if not, being present with whatever the mental state is. And noticing how the body feels. Whatever time of day or night it is when you're listening to this. Just being present with this body, this mind at this moment. When we open up to whatever it is we're feeling or experiencing, you can just let it be as it is. Notice where your attention is drawn. You may have a well-practiced habit of meditation, bringing your attention to your favorite meditation object. Or maybe your attention is drawn to some area of discomfort, physically or mentally. Whatever it is, see if it's possible to just be with it fully, available to what it actually is. If you're drawn to some physical or emotional unpleasant feeling, then just being with that. Or maybe some physical or emotional pleasant feeling. or the habitual settling on your meditation object, which is pleasant or painful or neither. And just noticing, bringing the bright awareness to this moment. Or we might think of it as opening up to this moment with love. Acceptance, kindness, equanimity. We want to stay with this present moment, whatever is occurring, wherever our attention is focused, whatever we're aware of, and not drift off into dullness or restlessness or fantasy or anything else that leads us away from clarity and presence. Just abiding with what is. With that kindness and compassion for whatever's happening right now. And a reflection that this is not self. It changes, it's unstable, but the awareness, inviting the reflection of whether that's stable. Does that change? So, what do we mean by awareness? Because our presence of mind changes, the degree of our mindfulness, the degree of our clarity, our wisdom. It can be more or less attentive, more or less clear. But the reflection is on whether there is something stable, unchanging, that we're just coming back to again and again. A place or a space, a perspective from which we observe all the changing phenomena. The mind might say, well, of course there is. That's what the Buddha said, or that's what a teacher said that it's stable, that awareness. But we can't take that for granted just because we're told. We want to see it for ourselves. And it takes persistence, time, maybe, a willingness to be open to what this moment can teach us. Whether it's painful or pleasant, or neither. So we make use of the meditation object in order to relax, to feel, to see, to know. Letting the mind settle as deeply as it can. Relaxing with an attitude of letting go, relinquishing control, relinquishing our sense of ownership. Happily resting. A holiday for the heart. Whatever might come into the mind, just let it go again. No matter what, how compelling it is, be present, acknowledge it. Don't cling to it in any way. So, in this moment, what part is your sense of self playing? Who is it? Like trying to meditate or striving to stay awake or wanting something? Or is it wanting to get rid of something? And all of it's okay, natural, understandable. But see it from a step away. See it as a process, something that's unfolding that you don't have to be involved in. Maybe it's an old habit or pattern, conditioned. It's all conditioned. How do we know if there's the sense of self involved in it? There's a bit of tension or some discomfort, some dukkha. It's not peaceful. It's not sublime. You can be with it, understand it, relax around it. We don't own it. It's not ours, not ourself, nor belonging to the self. So we have a few minutes to shift into Qigong mode, and here we'll be doing that outside. I'll go out and get that side of the thing going, and we'll be right back.
Right there. Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Let's get started. So we're starting in a standing position. And before we go into anything, just kind of make sure you have enough room so that you can swing your arms around and not worry about hitting anything. Okay, once you feel situated, then let's come first to a standing position and talk about what a default standing position is in Qigong. So when I say default, it's unless specified that a stance needs to be narrower or wider, then we come to a default. One more thing is, if you're in shoes, I encourage you to consider going barefoot. I heard Ajahn Suchito describe once that shoes are like coffins for the feet. So for Qigong, it's good to connect to the earth as much as possible, or to the ground, so that you can connect to the earth underneath the hardwood or the earth underneath the concrete. Just something to consider. So first we'll come to a standing position, and we're going to start from the feet and go all the way up the body and talk about what that standing position is. So starting with the feet, the weight ideally would be evenly distributed between both feet, evenly distributed from the front to the back of the feet, and for both feet, evenly distributed from side to side. Sometimes I like to imagine roots growing out of my body, penetrating the hardwood or the concrete, and really digging deep into the earth. And then coming up to the knees, just a slight bend in the knees, making sure you're never hyperextended, really resting into the strength of your joints and strength of your muscles. We're going to talk about the pelvis next. So just for fun, tuck your pelvis as much as you can. So the opposite, and what we don't want, is like a duck butt or twerking, if you like. So do the opposite. Really tuck your pelvis as much as you possibly can, even to the point where you're really strong in the core, in the glutes, in the abs. And then once it's as tight as you can get it, back off just enough so you're not straining. So ideally, there would be a lot of support from this area of the body and no straining whatsoever. Just strong. All right, coming up the body, let the spine be as straight as it can be. Most of all, the intention of straightness is what matters, not whether it is actually pencil straight or not. Then the shoulder blades draw ever so slightly toward each other so that they lay a little more flat on your back. There's also a little bit of a lift in the armpits, like you are holding two ripe blackberries in your armpits. So they're not totally limp, they're not squeezed against you, so you don't squeeze those blackberries and ruin your outfit. And there are also not too much space there, because then you would drop the blackberries. So two ripe blackberries in your armpit. Slight bend in your elbows, just really relaxed arms. Relaxing your wrists, your fingers. And then next, with the chin and neck, just checking that it is indeed as straight as possible. Maybe even tucking your chin a little bit, getting a little bit of a double chin, just so you know what that feels like. And then finding that happy balance of a straight spine, straight neck, So it's like your head is just balancing effortlessly on your neck and on your shoulders. And again, so straight in the spine that there's this feeling of connection from the top of the head up to the sky, up to heaven, whatever you like. Just standing for a moment in this beautiful default posture, strong without straining, just effortless. Maybe even feeling the chi starting to circulate in the system. Taking a few deep breaths here and finding something to enjoy about those breaths. And now just ever so gradually, easily, just start turning the hips from side to side. The hips turn a little bit more. In Qigong, the movements originate from the hips. So because the hips are turning more and more, then the mid-back also starts to turn. Because the mid-back starts to turn, the upper back also starts to turn from side to side. Arms are just relaxed. Let them go where they want to go. And because the upper back and upper spine are turning, then the neck is also turning. Maybe even looking behind your shoulder as you go from side to side. And bringing a little bit of intention to the hands. So the one that lands on the front of the body lands on your lower abdomen. And the hand that lands on the back of the body lands right here in the mid-back on a point called the door of life. A lot of energy can be released there. And now whatever hand lands at the front of the body, just bring a little bit of intention there. So it lands right underneath the collarbone. And that little pocket there should feel really good. Some great points here, right below that collarbone for stimulating immunity. And next, for the hand that lands on the front of the body, let it cup slightly and land on the shoulder here. So part of the hand should be on the top of the shoulder, and then part of the hand should be kind of on the more back side of the shoulder. Slight lift in the knees as that hand goes up. Some great points here on the shoulder for clearing mental fog, making decisions easier. Then that front hand can just come back to the belly. And then gradually, each time you turn from side to side, just go a little bit slower, a little bit less. We'll go into the yin version of this movement. The hands just going slowly and trailing the same path of movement as before. but not landing on the body anymore. Sensing the energy around you, within you. Enjoying the sensation of your spine as it twists from side to side. And maybe soon it doesn't feel like you're the one doing the movement. It is the chi just flowing within your body. And then for a while, just go as slow as you possibly can go without stopping. So that if someone were to see you from across the room, they might not even know you were moving at all. Next time you come to one side, just twist, 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 pushing your hands away from you. So it's like you're pushing two walls away, enjoying that twist, like you're wringing out a dish towel. And then going to the other side, twisting the other way, pushing your hands apart, enjoying that sensation. And ever so slowly, with intention, coming back to that standing posture. Taking a moment to just enjoy this standing posture. A couple of my Qigong teachers said that to be really great at Qigong, all you have to do is have this posture with that straight spine, or the intention of that straight spine, and to have a calm mind. So if you have those two things, then A+ in Qigong. Next, we'll go into spinal cord breathing. So arms come up to about here. On your in-breath, the elbows spread. And then out-breath, starting from the hips tuck, mid-back curls, upper back curls, elbows come in. The whole spine is curled. Then in-breath, the hips untuck, the back extends, arms extend, and on you go. Breathing out, curling, breathing in, extending. Maybe feeling a buildup of heat. In Qigong, we breathe in and out of the nose to build energy. And the exception is breathing out the mouth if you wish to let go of any stagnant or stuck chi, or of a purifying breath. So up to you. Again, breathing out the nose to build energy, breathing out the mouth to release any stuck energy. Seeing if you can breathe a little deeper, a little slower. Using the full capacity of the lungs on the in-breath. And then fully empty on the out-breath. And last one. Coming back to that standing posture. Enjoying the sensation of that spine getting warmed up, getting active. Qi already circling within the body. Next movement is called dog wagging its tail. So let's start in slow motion just to get the movement. Imagine the navel staying where it is and just the hips and the shoulders curving to one side. Now the spine is a little bit like a C shape. And now, again, in slow motion, exaggerated, navel stays in place and the hips and shoulders lean to one side. That is the movement. Speed it up a little bit, just like a dog wagging its tail. It is hard to do this movement and take oneself seriously. We often start Qigong practices by enlivening the spine being the superhighway of Qi in the body. So we started by twisting, and then we warmed it up the front and back of the spine. Now we are working on the sides. And then one more movement for the sides of the spine, coming into stillness. Reaching up the hands, this one's called picking cherries. So just like you would pick cherries, reaching up, and then up. You can go at the speed at which your body wants to go. So if that's fast, go fast. If that's slow, go slow. Ask your body, what is the speed that you want to go at right now? And then just do one more on either side, maybe two more if that feels good. And come to stillness. Checking in with that default standing posture again. Is there still power in your middle area, in your pelvis? Strong without straining. That's what we're going for. All right, let's activate some Qi in our body. So bringing your hands to points. I think this is called like a rooster's beak or something. And just starting with the middle point of your chest, there should be, if you palpate around, there is probably a place that feels really good right in the middle. And just let that rooster pick at that point. It's a great point for anti-anxiety. And again, your choice of breath, especially with this anti-anxiety point. If you want to build chi, breathe out the nose. If you want to let go of something, breathe out the mouth. Feel free to make it as noisy as you like. Stick out the tongue if you like. Like that. And now we're going to go into loose fists and just going more in the broad chest area, going up and down, side to side. Let it feel good, let it feel friendly, let it feel firm, all at the same time. And now with a flat palm, we're going to go down the inside of one arm and up the outside, all around the shoulder and down again. If there's a point that feels really good to be patting, go ahead and linger there. This direction of going down the inside and up the outside follows the flow of chi, going down the yin meridians and up the yang meridians. And when you finish your next cycle, just go ahead to the other side. And when you finish this cycle with flat hands, just with loose fists on the mid back, lower back, give yourself a little bit of a back massage. And now with the flat palms, going down the outside of the legs and up the inside, around the hips, and then go again. And again, if there's any particular area of the body that feels really good to be stimulated like this, then go ahead and linger there and let it feel really good. One more cycle, take your time. And when you arrive back at the abdomen, just go in circles with your loose fist. Make sure to go down your left side, go up your right side, following the flow of digestion. Feel free to go as light as your body likes or as firm as your body likes. Feeling free also to give yourself a little massage like I see someone doing. Very intuitive of you. Wonderful. And letting that circle grow a little bit smaller, keeping the center of that circle right below your navel. A little smaller each time. Until you're just stimulating that point right below your navel. This is the sea of chi, where we store our chi. Going a little softer, little softer. And just hold your hands there for a moment. Maybe you close your eyes if you like. See if you can feel the chi, any tingling sensations, warmth. Something moving there that is not just blood, not just sweat. Let's go into the 8-point bounce. This is great for shedding any excess or stagnant chi. So there are 8 points in our body that we will now be bouncing, starting with our wrists, so points 1 and 2, and your elbows, points 3 and 4, your knees, points 5 and 6. Point 7 is the pelvis, so letting that bounce also. And the 8th point, the grand finale, is the back of the skull and to the neck. So letting that head also bounce a little bit. And because this movement is extra special potent for shedding any excess or stagnant chi, let's take a few breaths out our mouth at your own pace. Maybe you feel something letting go. And if you've had enough of those exhales, then let's do a little bit more, just breathing in and out of the nose. And then ever so gradually, little by little, just slow it down. Just pause for a second, see if you feel any difference in the chi. Maybe it feels brighter. Maybe it's more tingly. Or maybe not. We'll go into a movement called Tiger. This is also great for shedding excess chi. Movement looks like this, with your hands in tiger claws, I'll show you a close-up, just the fingers curled, there we go. Dragging the claws up the front of the body, and then softening, relaxing the arms and fingers, sighing out the mouth. Again, in claws, dragging up the body, grabbing any chi that doesn't serve you, and exhaling, letting go. As your hands go up, your knees can straighten just a little bit. And then as you relax, let them drop a little deeper. If you like, you can go as deep as you like in your squat. Ask your body, what do you want? You could even widen your stance a little and go all the way to the floor. Making sure if you are bending that low, that most of the bend is in your hips, in your knees, keeping the chest upright. And remembering to ask your body, what do you want to do right now? The answer to that could shift from movement to movement, moment to moment. Moving with the intention of grabbing any excess or stagnant chi on the way up, and letting it go, giving it back to the earth on the way down. Couple more times here. The next time you come down, let's close this. Keep your hands in that tiger claw and exhale to the side. Let's do that one more time, crossing the arms, letting the hands be in tiger claw and I always feel like I'm throwing fireballs at my hands when I do that. Let's come to that standing posture, just checking in. Is there anything that feels different about the body? Is there anything that feels the same? Next movement is called opening the flow. My uncle, who is a Tai Chi champion in Taiwan, says that this is one of the movements that captures all the benefits of Qigong and Tai Chi. So if there's only one thing you take away, it can be this. Movement looks like this. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, arms float down. Looks pretty simple. As you move, let the movement originate in your pelvis, in your sea of qi. Let the movement grow up the spine. So first the shoulders activate, then the arms raise, then the wrist, and then the hands become energized. As you relax, the relaxation originates also from the pelvis. Goes up your back, shoulders relax, upper arms relax, lower arms relax, wrist relaxes, hand and fingers relax. So it's not like your arms are pumping up and down, but this energy spreading through the body, originating in the pelvis, that soft area of your belly, strengthening in the back, and then the shoulders, arms, hands, fingers, fingertips. And soon it's not your body that is moving at all, but the energy. And your body just happens to be along for the ride. Maybe we can be so connected with the energy within us and around us that we're not really thinking from our head at all. Just connected to everything all around us. Now let's try doing this movement in 6 directions. So inhale, arms come up. Exhale, push out, pushing out the energy. Inhale, arms come in. Exhale, pushing out to the sides. And then inhale, bring it up. And showering yourself with good, sweet, juicy energy. Again, that's inhale up. Exhale out. Inhale in. Exhale out. Inhale up. And then down. Up. Out. In. Out. Up. And see if maybe you can feel something moving that is not the body, not the air. And definitely not the self. The next time you have your hands holding out to the sides of you, just pause there, taking your time to get there. Sensing into the environment all around, the people, the animals, critters, the devas all around. And then closing this movement. We'll go into pulling down the heavens. So inhale, arms sweep around and up. Exhale, and showering yourself with beautiful, bright energy. Going as slow or as not slow as your body would like. Going at the rate of the energy. And taking your time as you finish with 1 or 2 more cycles. Meeting at the default standing posture whenever you're ready. We'll sway like a bamboo now, so bring your feet together. They can be right next to each other and touching. If you're not as super thrilled about balance in this moment, or if you just feel like having more stability right now, you can just widen that stance a little bit. Bring your hands to the soft part of your belly. And then just trusting the strength of your legs here to keep you upright. Relaxing everything else. Letting the body rock and sway wherever it wants to go. Wherever the chi wants to go. Body recalibrates after some beautiful practice. And letting the eyes float open if they were ever closed. Just relax. We will close our practice with a bow. So letting your right hand come into a loose fist. Your left hand comes into a flat palm. They meet and we bow. All right, thank you so much. That closes our Qigong practice.
Any questions or something you'd like to explore? Yes, James?
Oh, the only thing I want to say is that it's been a very wholesome day. Thank you for everybody who's contributed, especially, well, there's no especiallys, including Grace and the Ayyas and everybody who's been here. But Grace was a real special treat. We should do it more often. So thank you.
We think too.
The tables demand it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Grace.
I would love to hear if anybody would like to share about their practice today, especially during the quiet periods, meditation. How's it been going?
Yes, Sarah?
Well, I just wanted to, I came here looking forward to working on non-self today. And I've been really struggling with that a lot, trying to find ways to introduce it into my practice. And I realized that I've been kind of forcing, like, see it this way. Like, that's what I'm telling my mind. And I was reading your book, Grace, on the Anapanasati and me, and I was reading the examples, the metaphors of holding the balloons, and first just examining them and untwining from the fingers, and that's been such a powerful image for me today, because there was this I've been looking for things that help me feel it, really feel into it. And there's something about that that imagery that really, really spoke to me today. And it kind of took me out of the thinking part, which is, like I said, sort of ending up in this kind of arguing with myself. So thank you so much. It's been a real gift. Really
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, Paula.
So I just wanted to let Grace know specifically that I did dirt meditation some of the time today. And yeah, I found it pretty helpful actually, in terms of being non-reactive at times. And I plan on doing a lot more of that, or sort of approaching things that way. My question is, since we really can't completely experience not self at the stage that we're in right now, that maybe is not going to happen until, we're an arahant. Can you somehow practice in a way, or can one practice in a way, or is there a trick to practice in a way that, like, you realize, it's going to be hard for me to say this because I was thinking about this today, that just maybe you realize that there is your conventional self, but you don't have to attach to it, maybe, or I don't know. Any tricks?
Well, I think that anytime you are able to just see what you're thinking and feeling, you are practicing exactly like an arahant. I asked Longpa Ganha when we were in Thailand, how are we supposed to remember all these teachings about not self when we're actually suffering because we're not arahants yet? And it didn't take him any time to think about it. He just said, it's the same. The practice is the same. So, I think that arahants have unpleasant feelings that they have to grapple with, just like anybody else. And I think that the practice of not self is the practice of not self. Ayya, Santussikā, would you like to add anything?
I think you're right. From what I understand, exactly what you said, that first sentence, being present with what we're experiencing and not being in it, not being overwhelmed by it, not feeling like this is me, but to observe it and be clear about what it is. I think that's it. James?
Good. I'm quite certain I've set a record today for raising my hand. So if we go back to the beginning of our meeting today, you paraphrase the self, or this sense of non-self, as stepping back and stepping up. I use this mental image of stepping back all the time. In my experience around that and other experiences is that you can experience non-self, but personally I can only experience it momentarily. But the experience of that remains. So when I'm confronted with an engaged self, I can remember those experiences, and in that step back and step up, as you will. I usually just think step back, but I think step back is one thing. I thought of I actually had a question what you meant by stepping up. I took it as stepping up in terms of resting in the precepts and the Brahma Viharas, and the stepping back is viewing what is going on without engagement of the self, insofar as you're able.
Right. I think in this case, there's the stepping back, or the person who was being interviewed said it's like a click back, almost like, you've got a certain view and then you click back, like you take like one sort of measure back to see more around it. And I would say that's mindfulness. And then the idea about a click up is that I think that's clear comprehension. I think that's seeing with wisdom. And it's a view, like in the terms of the person I was listening to, it was a view from, look at this situation the way God would see it. And I think from our Buddhist perspective, we might say it's more look at it from Dhamma, and then when we're viewing that way, we know about impermanence, dukkha, and non-self. When we view it that way, we're not caught up in it. We see it not as me and mine. And that is an experience of not self. I think a lot of times we think it's harder than it is, and further away than it is. And I like this. Ajahn Sumedho talks about this a lot, and he said, you think about nibbana, you think about awakening as far away. I'm going to have to work really hard to get there. It's going to take a long time, and we give it all these words like ultimate reality, and it's so high and exalted. And then he said, first time he heard a monk talking about nibbana as cooling and how it's like letting the rice cool. That's also nibbana, and how it's so common and simple. And it really helped to not see it as so far away and different. It's different in that there's relief. It's different in that we're seeing it and instead of being it.
That's kind of question.
Lynn. Yeah, come on over here, Lynn.
I can speak up. Can you hear me?
But then they can't see your fingertips.
Well, you don't have to get on. No, she has that choice.
Yeah.
Okay, she wants to.
Grace, I so appreciated the movement. But when you talked about feeling the chi moving, I'm at a loss. I can feel my limbs moving and I can feel my body, but I might be low in my chi, or I might have to figure out how to stimulate your chi. Is there any advice you have about upping my game in terms of chi?
Yeah. Did you want to keep going?
No, that's it.
Okay. I have noticed there are times when even I cannot feel my chi, typically after I've just gotten really sick, or if I've just put enormous effort into something. I sometimes cannot feel my chi for several days after either of those two things. To build chi, all the things that we know to do to take care of our physical health also really helps with building our chi. So sleeping well, eating well, physical activity. And then there's the sensitivity to chi, which I think as we cool the mind, our sensitivity to chi also really sharpens. I would also love to show you all a little fun trick to up your chances of feeling your chi, if that's all right with you, Ayas.
Oh, yes. Please go ahead.
All right. So this might feel a little silly, but humor me. Just flap your arms.
That's what I was going to say too. We did this in college.
Oh.
In our mental health classes, we had a woo-woo day. And this was part of the woo-woo day.
Every day's a woo-woo day here.
Yeah.
Okay, and then if your palms are facing up right now, flip them. If your palms were facing down, flip them also. So just keep flapping. And then just like roll your wrist. And just for extra fun, a little more flapping.
I think the laughing helps too.
Yes. All right. You keep flapping. I'm going to tell you what's next, okay? So after you finish flapping, you're going to hold your hands really close You're going to point one finger at the other palm and you're going to swirl it around, see what you feel. Okay, do it. Maybe you feel some chi swirling there. Now pause that swirling motion. It should be close but not touching. See if you feel that swirling motion stop, and then swirl the other way. See if you feel it go the other direction.
Woo-woo day. Another one, if I remember right, is just holding your hands like this and moving them towards each other and away again, and seeing what you can feel between them without touching.
And then see when you can stop feeling it.
Whoa. How far can you go?
Can you describe what you feel when you do that?
For me, I feel when I do this, I feel a lot of swirling in the meat of my hand, not even on the surface. When I feel my chi during practice, it's heat, it's warmth, it's a lot of this swirling sensation, but around my whole body, and a lot of tingling.
Okay,
Yeah,
I know what I'm looking for now.
I think when I do this, there can be a bit of a pressure. Like you can feel almost like you have something between your hands, and
It reminds me of like two magnets, like the wrong polarity pushing against, it feels kind of like it's repelling each other a little bit, Yeah.
so I have a question for you, Grace. I believe that when I see light in meditation, or when I hear that humming sound, that it's the same thing.
I
Just
agree.
different channels. Yeah, it's chi. I think it's also PT. I think it's also metta. Like when I do those practices, it's very similar. Those energies. Sounds true to you too. What do you think?
Sure.
I mean, I guess I want to kind of refine that a little bit. I think feeling PT, feeling metta, there's a bit of a refinement, a variation there, but it's very like to be attentive or aware of energy. It feels like then we're more aware of like what metta feels like and what karuna feels like, mudita, upekkha, and you can start to see some distinctions between them.
And I would say too, getting really in touch with how energy moves and manifests in the body, especially as it corresponds to emotions, has really helped me practice healthy boundaries. Because when someone's pushing against my boundaries and trying to exceed them, I feel this curdling sensation in my stomach. And that tells me, speak up, say no, in a kind way.
Yeah.
So does the lack of chi, I'm one of my hindrances is sloth and torpor. Is that related to a lack of chi?
I suspect yes. You don't lack chi, Lynn. The fact that you're alive, a human being walking around, like you have chi.
Yeah.
And I wonder by activating it more and tending to it more closely, I bet that could diminish a little bit of the sloth and torpor.
Okay, I'll give it a try.
Yeah, sounds true to me. And also that sensitivity that you talked about, Grace. If we never really think about this, or we haven't had an opportunity to put attention on our chi, then we may not be aware at all of how it's moving or what's happening. And then then when you start to become sensitive to it, and then your sensitivity to it gets more and more refined.
I think it's like working with a friend or a small child. Like the more we show them that we truly want to listen, we truly want the best for them, then the more easily they'll tell us when they have something to say.
It's nice.
Yeah.
You have 4 minutes to juice grace for all she's worth. Come on.
Carried away?
Forgot to say earlier that I really appreciated your visual, Grace, about the like not wanting to look at your suffering like this, or giving it the side eye, It was like the visual manifestation of that for me was really helpful, like the turning toward it and almost like this feeling of like, I'm going to bring it in and hug it, and I just feel that, like the not self thing, I know it's been a struggle for me with my mom because it's sort of a double-edged sword for me. Like we've become closer, but then I also feel greater responsibility for her well-being because she's 90. And a large part of why we're going is that she can't get the care that she needs here. And she's already had some really bad care here. And so then I go into this situation of moving country and thinking, what if it's worse? What if, what I'm doing causes harm? And I can see that how much self is bound up in that. Like I can do my very best and still things are going to happen to other people that I love, no matter how much I want to take care of them. Like I'm not in control, of that.
Yeah.
But it really helped me to think about that in the visual way of like turning towards that suffering. And I think like it's a big step forward just to say that that is a manifestation of like clinging to self. And so it really helped to have the visual of it. And I just really thank you for that. And somebody said in a group that I was in recently that like, I haven't gotten to where she is, but she said something like, even if I end up not being okay, like that's okay, I don't know. I'm just not quite there yet, but I can sort of see that makes sense in a way. I don't know. And then there's the whole suffering of like if I really open myself up to the whole world, I feel like I'm having to shut down somewhat, like especially with what's going on in Gaza right now. And if I open up to that too much, I feel like it's just going to completely overwhelm me. And I sort of feel overwhelmed already without paying a lot of attention to it. I just see little things here and there. I don't watch the news because it's just too much, but I also don't want to turn a blind eye. So it feels like a hard balance to find. But I think the reminder that I can't save everyone. And the idea that I could save even one person personally, like is a manifestation of self. I mean, I think that's helpful. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Thanks.
Thank you.
I just want to say one more thing to that, Karen. I think it's good for us to be compassionate for that part of ourselves that wants to save one person, even though it is kind of our sense of self wanting to I think have more control than we have, more safety than we have, or something. But to see that as to see it as something that's not bad. It's just to recognize that it isn't really quite matched with reality, but it's a wish for more safety, more security, I think, is what's behind it. Just a thought. Okay, friends.
Thank you.
We're gonna wrap it up. You're welcome. We're gonna close for today. I think we'll chant a blessing for everyone. And we really want to thank you, Grace. Thank you so much for coming and helping, and it was wonderful. May you have every good blessing. May all the devas protect you by the power of all the Buddhas. May you ever be well. May you have every good blessing. May all the devas protect you by the power of all the Dhamma. May you ever be well. May you have every good blessing. May all the devas protect you by the power of all the Sangha. May you ever be well. So take care, everyone. Nice to have you all here.